Usually we walk around constantly believing ourselves. I'm okay, we say. I'm alright. But sometimes the truth arrives on you and you can't get it off. That's when you realize that sometimes it isn't even an answer, it's a question. Even now, I wonder how much of my life is convinced. Marcus Zuzak. It is better to offer no excuse than a bad one. George Washington. Sometimes it takes a good fall to really know where you stand. Haley Williams. That's what fiction is for. It's for getting at the truth when the truth isn't sufficient for the truth. Tim O'Brien. It is difficult, when faced with a situation you cannot control, to admit you can do nothing. Lemony Snicket. When you are sorrowful, look again in your heart, and you shall see that in truth you are weeping for that which has been your delight. Khalil Gibran. I'm about to make a wild, extreme and severe relationship rule. The word busy is a load of crap and is most often used by assholes. The word busy is the relationship weapon of mass destruction. It seems like a good excuse, but in fact in every silo you uncover, all you're going to find is a man who didn't care enough to call. Remember, men are never too busy to get what they want. Greg Behrendt. People often claim to hunger for truth, but seldom like the taste when it's served up. George R.R. Martin. There are times to stay put, and what you want will come to you, and there are times to go out into the world and find such a thing for yourself. Lemony Snicket. I'm for truth, no matter who tells it. I'm for justice, no matter who it is for or against. I'm a human being, first and foremost, and as such I'm for whoever and whatever benefits humanity as a whole. Malcolm X.
Please like, share and subscribe our channel and click on bell icon.
People think that a liar gains a victory over his victim. What I've learned is that a lie is an act of self-abdication, because one surrenders one's reality to the person to whom one lies, making that person one's master, condemning oneself from then on to faking the sort of reality that person's view requires to be faked. The man who lies to the world is the world's slave from then on. There are no white lies. There is only the blackest of destruction, and a white lie is the blackest of all. Ayn Rand. The truth is not always beautiful, nor beautiful words the truth. Lao Tzu. The truth isn't always beauty, but the hunger for it is. Nadine Gordimer. We live in an age when unnecessary things are our only necessities. Oscar Wilde. Men may be stronger, but it is women who endure. Cassandra Clare. Much of what was said did not matter, and that much of what mattered could not be said. Catherine Boo. You can safely assume you've created God in your own image when it turns out that God hates all the same people you do. Anne Lamott. A thinker sees his own actions as experiments and questions, as attempts to find out something. Success and failure are for him answers above all. Friedrich Nietzsche. There's no such thing as ruining your life. Life's a pretty resilient thing, it turns out. Sophie Kinsella. There are two ways to be fooled. One is to believe what isn't true. The other is to refuse to believe what is true. Soren Kierkegaard. For me, it is far better to grasp the universe as it really is than to persist in delusion, however satisfying and reassuring. Carl Sagan. Just because you don't understand it doesn't mean it isn't so. Lemony Snicket. If you look for truth, you may find comfort in the end. If you look for comfort, you will not get either comfort or truth, only soft soap and wishful thinking to begin, and in the end, despair. C.S. Lewis. I think that we are like stars. Something happens to burst us open, but when we burst open and think we are dying, we're actually turning into a supernova. And then when we look at ourselves again, we see that we're suddenly more beautiful than we ever were before. C. Joy Bell. C. Sometimes things become possible if we want them bad enough. T.S. Eliot. Whatever satisfies the soul is truth. Walt Whitman. I'm just sick of ego, ego, ego. My own and everybody else's. I'm sick of everybody that wants to get somewhere, do something distinguished and all, be somebody interesting. It's disgusting. J.D. Salinger. Those sweet lips. My, oh my. I could kiss those lips all night long. Good things come to those who wait. Jess C. Scott. The most common form of despair is not being who you are. Soren Kierkegaard. Something inside Clary cracked and broke, and words came pouring out. What do you want me to tell you? The truth? The truth is that I love Simon like I should love you, and I wish he was my brother and you weren't. But I can't do anything about that, and neither can you. Cassandra Clare. Being in a minority, even in a minority of one, did not make you mad. There was truth and there was untruth, and if you clung to the truth even against the whole world, you were not mad. George Orwell. Nothing ever happens like you imagine it will. John Green. Truth never damages a cause that is just. Mahatma Gandhi. Wrong does not cease to be wrong because the majority share in it. Leo Tolstoy. 1492. As children we were taught to memorize this year with pride and joy as the year people began living full and imaginative lives on the continent of North America. Actually, people had been living full and imaginative lives on the continent of North America for hundreds of years before that. 1492 was simply the year sea pirates began to rob, cheat, and kill them. Kurt Vonnegut. Perhaps the truth depends on a walk around the lake. Wallace Stevens. Who is more humble? The scientist who looks at the universe with an open mind and accepts whatever the universe has to teach us, or somebody who says everything in this book must be considered the literal truth and never mind the fallibility of all the human beings involved? Carl Sagan. There's a world of difference between truth and facts. Facts can obscure truth. Maya Angelou. It is always the false that makes you suffer, the false desires and fears, the false values and ideas, the false relationships between people. Abandon the false and you are free of pain. Truth makes happy, truth liberates. Sri Nisargadatta Maharaj. Life's as kind as you let it be. Charles Bukowski. Love truth, but pardon error. Voltaire. I envy people that know love. That have someone who takes them as they are. Jess C. Scott. But when it came right down to it, the skin of my wrist looked so white and defenseless that I couldn't do it. It was as if what I wanted to kill wasn't in that skin or the thin blue pulse that jumped under my thumb, but somewhere else, deeper, more secret, and a whole lot harder to get. Sylvia Plath. Fiction reveals truth that reality obscures. Jessamine West.
Please like, share and subscribe our channel and click on bell icon.